Hey, Matt, how are you?
Hello, Nicholas. Nice to see you today.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're gonna talk TikTok today. Sounds like, right?
Oh my God, there's so much. It has its own news cycle.
Uh,
It's amazing to me.
and we've been doing this podcast what almost 4 months, and every single day we're looking at what can we do that we don't talk about TikTok. But it sounds like it's always coming back, right? It's
It's
crazy.
always coming back. It's nuts, and there's so
All
much to
right,
cover today.
all right, let's go.
Okay.
What's up, everybody? This is Nico with eStreamly, the company that gets you video commerce, live stream shopping directly on your website and across social. I'm so excited to be here, and I'm with my great friend Matt from E6 Marketing, the company that gets you on QVC and HSN. We are going to talk a lot about TikTok today, unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on which side of the aisle are you in. But we're very excited about this. I think it's going to be a really cool conversation. Matt, why don't you kick off and tell us what the show is about?
Yeah. Thanks, Nicholas. So this is the Video Commerce Podcast. Thank you very much for tuning in. We talk about everything related to video commerce and e-commerce. Of course, video commerce under the direct DRTV world, transitioned into the QVC and HSN worlds, 24-hour shopping, 7 days a week. And now you could shop on your tablet, on your phone, anywhere, almost everywhere. So at its best, this conversation will be fun, hopefully for you that are watching and listening. We hope you gained a better understanding of the video commerce world and come away with a couple points to take with you at your next cocktail party or with talking to your coworkers about the whole video commerce world. So as Nicholas alluded to, TikTok is just an amazing dynamic. You can't shake it. There's something moving and shaking, and just there's news every day. So Nicholas, I've got a story to share with you, but tell me how the story that caught your attention this week.
Yeah, the attention that the story that really caught my attention is something that has been going on for a while, right? We talked about it on Twitter, and Elon has mentioned that he was going to prioritize long form video over short form videos. TikTok was also something that they had been pushed for some time, right? If you think about what the space today of video is, you've got the long form, which was the YouTube format, and then people were going to the short form, which TikTok format really brought in and really scaled to mass. The story I wanted to share today is TikTok really pushing heavily towards long form. And when we talk about long form, we're talking 10 minutes and over. The information reported that sometime this week, TikTok had a big event, a big creator event where they invited all the creators from all the US to this big party. They all had champagne and all that stuff. And the message was create content that is over 10 minutes. And there are special reward program, creator reward program for creators that are going to post longer form and more engaging form. So TikTok is really pushing toward longer form. The reason I thought I wanted to bring this up is, well, there's two reasons. First, as we know, TikTok is also going into e-com space and very aggressively. And well, it's unlike we saw the other day, you were talking about that, Matt, right? Like you need time to actually explain the description of your product, why this product is better and all that. So it's going to benefit their e-commerce engagement overall, right? If you have more time, if you educate your users to spend more time on your video content, you are going to potentially give the opportunity for anyone that is doing more e-com review to actually being able to share the benefit and the attribute of your product and why you should be buying versus not buying. So I think this shift toward longer form is really to the benefit of that e-com section. But what I think is interesting also is like it's also this notion like we have been educated by TikTok and now YouTube Short and all that to really spend 5, 10, 15 seconds on the video. And now we're seeing a trend reverse. And I found that to be fascinating, this idea of like, maybe you should spend more time on your video. And I don't know, I just found that a trendsetter And I'm so excited to see that coming and going back to the roots in some way of what video should be looking like.
It's so funny. What's old is new. I know you're going that path, and this is how I was taught through QVC and my many years working at the QVC network. A 10-minute sell is even a longer sell at QVC. Most presentations last between 6 and 8 minutes. The only presentations that last 10 minutes or longer are highly promoted, big buys, really important products. We call them hot picks or today's special values or host promos, which are like kind of the anchors of a particular show. So a 10-minute dynamic in my world at QVC and at HSN are high value, high producing presentations and products. And this Gen Z, what we've learned from our children and what they have a little attention span and they want to get it quick and they want to get fun and make it happen. Now it's shifting. So I will say to all the TikTok shop sellers, I will say to all the people that shop at that are creating videos, shoppable videos on Instagram and Facebook. Something that you and I talked about when we first met a couple of years ago. Just have a blueprint, have a strategy on how your time will be spent, and don't waste your viewers' time. So come up with we call it top 3 selling features, and repeat those 3 things over and over because the customer was tuning in at different parts of the presentation. So the kind of the pompous attitude of maybe the Gen Z creator has been, of course, well, they'll tune in when I'm on, and without really much of a direction on how they're going to spend their time or spend their time with their consumer. And I have always said, you got to value your time with your consumer. You have to make sure that their time is well spent with you. Come into the game, come into the presentation with a plan and execute that plan and repeat the most important things. So whoever's tuning in at whatever time of the presentation they are tuning in, they're going to hear the most important things you want to say about your product.
Absolutely. I love what you're saying, Matt. And I think it's something that I have been hammering my customer about, like create the blueprint, think about what you're going to say, remain focused on the benefit, not the attributes of the product. I think you're saying so much valuable insight here. So what is the second news of the week?
So I remember Nicolas, when Nicolas and I talked months and months ago, and I think it was when TikTok Shop first started, and TikTok became a big point of conversation between Nicolas and I and everyone in our worlds. We thought TikTok was too big to stop, and it became so big so quick, and the Gen Z and other people were collaborated onto it. We just thought it would just continue to grow and grow and grow, and it still might. But this article we read, and if you're watching us through Facebook or Instagram or X, you can see this article that we called up. There's a TikTok bill that was introduced just yesterday. Unanimous vote. ByteDance, who owns TikTok, needs to divest ownership of the app in 165 days. So the government's claiming national security risk, and it's potentially a problem. So you're talking about the U.S. government potentially shutting down this app, where the funny things about the Gen Z generation, they use TikTok as their primary source for news. And then President Joe Biden joined TikTok last month to go after the Gen Z group. So there's all kinds of pulls and tugs and what's going on. Nicolas, how do you look at this story?
Well, first of all, I don't think TikTok is gonna shut down or anything. I think at worst they are selling the assets, and then there's like a ByteDance creating a company in the Seychelles or in the Philippines, or like one of those places. Maybe not the Philippines, but like one of those places somewhere, and it's not called ByteDance. It may be called a Dance Byte or something. Inc., something that no one recognizes where it's coming from, and they end up owning that piece. I don't see, honestly, a way. Well, if they exit the business, they will make great multiple. It would be a great investment for them because they will divest that piece. But I don't see a way for where TikTok is no longer, inexistent in the market. I think it's too big to fail. I still believe that. In top of that, it's an election year, and if if Biden's is Biden, not Biden's, but if Biden is actually on it and is, starting to dance and do those things to appeal to the Gen Z, there is no way he's gonna alienate all the Gen Z by telling him, "Oh, and by the way, your favorite app is actually we're gonna kill it." There's no way. I mean,
isn't it hysterical to think that there could be two 70-something guys going for the presidency of the United States in 2024, and TikTok is one of their topics of getting elected, because the Gen Z generation is an important generation in politics and the world, and you have to cater to them. You have to understand what their wants and desires are to an extent.
And the reality is, I don't know if those guys are voting, right? I mean, they may be voting, but are they excited enough to vote? And you need to get them to vote, right? And that was there. Like, if you think about Biden or even Trump, what I'm reading is like those two guys are not getting the young folks excited and going to vote, and those young folks can decide the election.
They can move the needle.
They can move the needle. I mean, Taylor Swift has more power over that generation than anything else. So, I think it's going to be interesting. And so there's no way I see Biden being mingled into that, saying, "Oh, there will be probably some stuff being done and everything." But yeah, I think we're going to see a way out for Biden's. And the other thing that's interesting, right? Biden's, I mean, TikTok, in response to in prevention of this special election, or this vote, sorry, they had a pop-up on when you were logging on TikTok. So I was saying like, hey, this is happening. This is how you can call your congressman or reach your congressman to tell them that you don't want that to happen. And those guys were inundated with call, to the extent that the information was reporting that some of them just had to shut down their phone system for a couple of days because they were just receiving too many folks call. So if those people are able to move population to call their congressman to say, please don't do this, I don't see how, I don't know. It doesn't compute to me.
And so, I mean, I don't know all the financials about divesting ownership. I'm not exactly sure what that all entails with ByteDance and if it's even applicable for them or even if they would consider that. But I do appreciate the national security risk, if there is one, through this app. The government needs to be involved with it. We've seen Mark Zuckerberg in front of Congress before. Social media is a major mover shaker topic, whatever you want to say. Like, everyone cares about it. Everyone knows information flows through it. The newspapers are gone. Other, basic television is kind of fading away. Social media is where everyone gets their information. So all of it's important. All of it's important for all generations. This being a topic for Congress is, I guess we could have seen this coming, but I think it's just fascinating that now it's at that highest level of conversation.
And so what's the repercussion for brand, right? If you're a brand and you're building on TikTok, if you're a brand or building on Meta or any of those other places, we cannot say it enough. At some point, you need to own your audience. And it's not by building on those platforms that you're going to own your audience. Now, it doesn't mean you should not do it. It means that you should always think about how do you, at some point, kind of own that audience and transfer to a place where the core fan of that audience, the one that are the top 1,000 shoppers that are loving your brand, that's going to move the needle, they are not engaging with you on those platforms. They're engaging with you on a place that you own. And that's super important. The 1,000 fan, you got to get them somewhere where you own that, because if tomorrow TikTok gets away, if tomorrow Instagram shut your account. I was reading an article saying that there is a more and more account being shut down and from Insta and Meta, actually, with brand complaining. I think there's like I don't have the number. I have to go back, but it's like the number skyrocketed this year of people that went to do lawsuit and on court because their account shut down, and that was a big chunk of revenue for them.
No, it's like how where retail used to be the main thing. You would springboard out of like a Bloomingdale's or a Nordstrom or something to get into big box or get into other retailers or get into video commerce or e-commerce. To your exact point, diversification. So
Yeah.
if you're a rising star on TikTok Shop, or you're a rising star through Meta or Facebook or Instagram, use that platform. Use your own platform. Use your own website, and jump into retail, and jump into the other aspects. So you're covering your bases. You can't rely on. I mean, this social media world is interesting, and it's crazy, but it's volatile. I mean, you have to admit that it's a volatile space. Don't plant all your seeds in one spot. I agree.
So let's talk about a next topic that is non-TikTok related. I will say it's somewhat Chilean related in some way. I don't know if you saw, Matt, but there's this video that's been going around on the internet with basically it's called Immersive 5D Experience in China. And it's a short, so we were talking about a long form video, but this is a short, so let me mute this on. But basically what it's saying is, so people are completely immersed into digital environments, fully immersed in digital environment and what's interesting is that people are talking that maybe, I mean, it's not maybe, but it sounds like the future of Shoppable and live stream and all that is actually digitally a complete digital experience with XR, basically, where you can actually do some stuff of shopping. So think of it as, you wear a net set, it already have your credit card info, it knows who you are, and then you're walking the street and you start seeing some stuff, and you can start buying and digitally get the good delivered to your door. I think we are getting closer to this kind of environment with this kind of technology being more and more pushed out there. The bridge between physical and digital is going to be more blurry and blurry. We know that like the Apple just released their new glasses. They're still big and heavy, but it's going that direction. I was actually seeing a video on Reddit the other day where there was this guy who was wearing the Apple glasses, and he was on a one of those wheel and you can move around. And he had like, he was like the guy of the future, really. And he wasn't buying everything, but he was into his digital world. And like, I don't know, I think things are coming. The world is changing. The digital versus physical are getting closer and closer. And I think that's the new trend. And uh, right now it's futuristic, but I wonder what's the next 5 or 10 years are going to be.
No, it's very much Jetson. The Jetsons. The old cartoon when we were both growing up. Very futuristic, and it is happening. I agree. I mentioned to you before the show, I saw a video of a guy on a New York City subway wearing these Apple glasses, and they were big and obtruse, and he kind of looked like an alien kind of a thing. And he was playing the piano, and he was rehearsing his piece. And he's literally playing the piano and sitting on a subway station, and everyone's kind of looking at him like, "What's going on here?" Now, you brought up Apple or Meta. One of them is partnered with Ray-Ban. So this technology is now going to be much more convenient, and you're actually wearing sunglasses. A lot of different than those big, huge.
You can actually stream directly from the Ray-Ban glasses. So you can actually do stream to Facebook, do a live stream where you can just walk around and then stream.
It's
directly.
Insane. Just thinking about it. Well, I'm thinking about all those those city commuters walking down. I always say New York City because it's the biggest city. Walking down the street and ordering your groceries from the grocery shop 3 blocks down. So you're going through things and you're virtually ordering it, hitting air, ordering the product, and then when you get to the store, they have it bagged up, ready for you to go. Let alone if you have an event that night and the woman needs a lipstick, or she has something that she needs to order like right then and there. She's like, "Oh, I forgot to order that." And she puts on her glasses and places the order while moving down the street.
Yeah, but so I love what you're saying, and I know we're digressing here, but I remember doing some research on that specifically because before launching Extremely, my partner and I, we were thinking about how can we bring that experience to reality. And through tons of interviews, what we found out is people will not bear the weight of time to actually have someone wearing glasses and streaming for the product. So think about like if you're doing grocery shopping on your website, right? You want to do very fast. So now they will say, okay, if I can see the product, pick and then move to the next one, it's fine. But like someone wearing glasses and then actually picking the product for me and then going to another one, picking another product, that will take too much time, and people were not willing to do that. So I think it's this digital physical is great, but people also are doing digital because they want to save time, and I don't see that. I mean, I don't know if that's a place where we will see that kind of experience you're talking about happening, and maybe it will be a different experience.
Well, I would never ever think I'd be part of that dynamic ever, ever, ever. But you can never say never.
Absolutely,
never say never. The last topic I wanted to touch on real quick, and it kind of goes with what we were talking about with TikTok Shop and longer format recommendations that they're making. Best Buy and Macy's announced that they're streamlining their locations. So we talked last week how Macy's is going to close 150 stores, I think, by 2025. I think Best Buy is doing the same thing, but Macy's also is going to open 30 additional stores, but it's 20% of the size of the traditional Macy's that you might see in a mall. So the streamlining of traditional retail is becoming very much a trend. Nordstrom's, Bloomingdale's, Target, Kohl's, and Whole Foods all announced they have the same kind of plans. And I don't know if it's the footprint of, like, they don't want to pay the footprint, or they need to have less is more. So the consumer comes in for a specific reason rather than a general shopping experience. Where do you think this trend comes from?
I personally, I mean, this has been going on for a while, right? So you've got a massive expansion of retail, people expanding, making store bigger, more options, more optionality, more everything. And at least we've seen that in France, where it was like this huge store, and then the reverse trend started to happen. Like, how do we create more neighborhood store? The store where you go and you get your 5 SKUs that you're missing for that specific day or that specific week. And it's not something where you have to drive half hour to go there. And I think that's kind of what this thing is entailing. I think we're going to see more and more of those neighborhood stores, those smaller stores where you can go, just grab your thing, go out. The problem with big stores, like, big store is great, but you have too much choice. And now you're getting to this rabbit hole of, like, you're coming for milk and you're spending an hour there. And then, not everyone wants to do have the experience. And I think it's a natural evolution, I will say, of the store. And there's plenty of retail out there available, right? Like, we went, so many stores have been closing at some good locations. So there's a lot of smaller space available. So I can see that to be an opportunity for the big retailers to try to grab new market shares that way.
Again, it's about the customer experience. Yeah. So if the customer experience now is get in and get out, those vast stores are not working. But if the customer's experience is to experiment and what's on the shelf today and what am I going to buy and spend time, then it's kind of counter to that. So if e-commerce is growing the way it is, if video commerce is growing the way it is, if impulse purchase shopping is continuing to be more and more important to the consumer, this makes complete sense. To get in and get out, buy what you need to get in. There's not much to see anyway. Go about your day. So very, very interesting. Nicolas, this was one of the most volatile weeks of news in our world that we've had. So I love all this talk. I love these conversations. So much to do with e-commerce and retail and video commerce. So it's just great. It's great to have a platform to talk about it.
Absolutely, I love it too. So I have a special shout out. It's not so much a shout out, but it's more like me saying out loud what you're going to start to see. Not with this show, the Vcommerce Show, but with the live e-commerce show. So I've taken the decision to not slow down, but reduce the amount of show that are going to be publishing on Tuesday to have even higher quality guests. Because, I come to a point where we've interviewed a lot of really awesome people on the live e-commerce podcast. And I just feel that I really want to bring this level up, and so want to interview some really, really awesome folks. And so I'm going to reduce slightly on Tuesday and try to condensate and try to find people that I found very, very interesting. So that was my special note for me. And I know you have a big Givenchy show coming up soon.
Yeah. Givenchy, one of the most popular beauty brands on QVC, has their inaugural their very first full-hour show with Courtney Kaysen and Sean Killinger this Tuesday night, the 10th at 7 p.m. Eastern. So tune in. There's a couple of different new products, some surprises in the show. So I'm very much involved in the show itself. So I'm excited about that launch. It should be great. Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern, Givenchy on QVC.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for being here. We took a little over in time today, 25 minutes. Oh, my God. We need to figure out a way to trim it down to 20. Initially, the goal was 10. So, we're closing longer and longer. So we're going to have to figure out a way to make this better. But it was great to all have you. We are here every Friday on LinkedIn, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and X. You can find us there. Come and chat with us, engage. Tell us what you thought about that. We really want to make a shout out to all the folks that are commenting through those. We are 18 episodes right now. So all the folks that have commented so far. Sorry for starting a little late today. We were just preparing the show. There was so much to talk about. You can find us here every Friday. And thank you, everyone. And we will see you again very soon. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Nicholas. Have a great weekend, everyone.